हरे कृष्णा। Welcome to all devotees. Now we start today's Bhagavatam class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashti. Hare Krishna. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, second chapter, 5th, the cause of all causes. Shloka Kramanka 4 to 6. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Yat Vijnana Yat Adharah
यत विज्ञान यत आधारः
Yat Paratvam Yat Atmakah
यत परस्त्वं यत आत्मकः
Ekah Sujasi Bhutani
एकः सृजसि भूतानि
Bhutehi Eva Atmamaya
भूतैः एव आत्ममायया
Atmana Bhavayetani
आत्मन्भावयसे तानि
न पराभावयन् स्वयम्
न पराभावयन् स्वयम्
आत्मशक्ति अवष्टभ्येय
आत्मशक्तिम् अवष्टभ्यः
पूर्णनाभिः इव अक्लमः
पूर्णनाभिः इव अक्लमः
न वेद परं हि
न अहं वेद परं हि
अस्मिन् न अपरं न समं विभो
अस्मिन् अपरं न समं विभो
नामरूपगुणे भाव्यं सत्
नाम रूप गुणैः भाव्यं सत् असत् किंचित् अन्यतः
असत् किञ्चिन्नतः
असत् किंचित् अन्यतः
यत् विज्ञान यत् आधारः
यत् विज्ञान यत् आधारः
यत् परः तु यत् आत्मकः
यत् परः त्वं यत् आत्मकः
एकः सृजसि भूतानि
एकः सृजसि भूतानि
भूतैः एव आत्ममायया
भूतैः एव आत्ममायया
आत्मन् भावयसे तानि
आत्मन्भावयसे तानि
न पराभावयन् स्वयम्
न पराभावयन् स्वयम्
आत्मशक्तिम् अवष्टभ्येय
आत्मशक्तिमवष्टभ्यः
पूर्णनाभिः इव अक्लमः
पूर्णनाभिः इव अक्लमः
न अहं वेद परं हि अस्मिन्
न अहं वेद परं हि अस्मिन्
न अपरं न समं विभो
न अपरं न समं विभो
नामरूपगुणे भाव्य
नाम
भाव्य
रूप गुणैः भाव्यं
रूपगुणे भाव्य सत् असत् किञ्च अन्यतः
सत् असत् किंचित् अन्यतः
यत् विज्ञान यत् आहः यत् परः त्वं यत् आत्मकः एकसृजसि भूतानि भूतैः एव आत्ममायया आत्मन् भावयसे तानि न परा भावयन् स्वयम् आत्मशक्ति अवष्टभ्य पूर्णनाभि इव अक्लमः न अहं वेद परं हि अस्मै न अपरं न समं विभो नाम रूप गुणे भाव्यं सत् असत् किंचित अन्यतः। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। यत् विज्ञान यत् आधार यत् परः त्वं यत् आत्मकः एकः सृजसि भूतानि भूतैः एव आत्ममायया आत्मन् भावयसे तानि न पराभावयन् स्वयम् आत्मशक्तिम् अवष्टभ्य ऊर्णः नाभि इव अक्लमः न अहं वेद परं हि अस्मिन् न अपरं न समं विभो नामरूपगुणैः भाव्यं सत् असत् किञ्चित् अन्यतः हरे कृष्ण
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear father, what is the source of your knowledge? Under whose protection are you standing and under whom are you working? What is your real position? Do you alone create all entities with material elements by your personal energy? As the spider very easily creates the network of its cobweb and manifests its power of creation without being defeated by others. Whatever we can understand by the nomenclature, characteristics, and features of a particular thing, superior, inferior, or equal, eternal or temporary, is not created from any source other than that of your lordship. Though so great purport. It was known to Sri Nārada Muni that the Lord Brahma attained to energy by understanding austerities. As such, he could understand that there was someone else superior to Brahmaji who invested Brahma with the power of creation. Therefore, he asked all the above questions. Discoveries of progressive scientific achievements are there, not independent. The scientist has to attain the knowledge of things already existing by means of the wonderful brain made by someone else. A scientist can work with the help of such an awarded brain, but it is not possible for the scientist to create his own or a similar brain. Therefore, no one is independent in the matter of any creation, nor is such creation automatic. Mm. The best example of self-sufficiency is the sun. The sun does not require to be illuminated by any other body. Rather, it is the sun which helps all other illuminating agents, for in the presence of the sun, no other illuminating agent becomes prominent. Narada compared the position of Brahma to the self-sufficiency of the spider, who creates its own field of activities without any other's help by employment of its own energetic creation of saliva. The manifested work is full of varieties of created beings in 84 lakh species of life, and some of them are superior and inferior to others. In human society, uh, the human being is considered to be the superior living being, and amongst the human being, there are also different varieties, good, bad, equal, etc. But Narad Muni took for granted that none of them has any source of generation besides his father Brahmaji. Therefore, he wanted to know all about them.
ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः
Blindly accept
श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् देहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश नम ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा. Material nature is temporary and it always gives rise to some problem or the other, as witnessed right now by us, wherein all of a sudden there was a network disconnect, and because of the range issues, we couldn't hear further what Mataji was trying to say. So, before we continue on this shloka, something very important I wanted to discuss about the brief background of this particular chapter, because this is very important to understand. So, my humble request to all of you to kindly go through the whatever is your screen right now, the laptop, the tablet, the mobile. This is the brief outline of this chapter that we are seeing today. So, as you can see here, it is divided into 6 parts. The first part consists of the 8 shlokas, where we will be seeing Narada's questions, convictions, and doubts. So we'll be finishing the first part tomorrow when we do the next 2 shlokas. So even in this part, we saw the first 2 shlokas in which Narad Muniji has raised 6 questions. And now from third to sixth shlokas, which we are covering today, it's all about convictions, wherein Narada confirms that he believes that Brahmaji is the supreme independent Lord, because he has not seen anyone else. But then immediately in the next 2 shlokas, he is going to raise doubts because he finds that Brahmaji is doing some form of a tapa, meditation. So he questions, is there someone who is more powerful than you? So that is the first part of this chapter. Then from shloka 9 to 13, Brahmaji first of all will clarify on Narada's false convictions. Then from 14 to 16, Brahmaji will answer the first 3 questions. And because the answer consists of yad adhishtanam, yat param, narayanam, so from 17 to 20, Brahmaji will give a comparison of Brahma versus Lord, that is Jiva Tattva versus Vishnu Tattva. And then 21 to 35, Brahmaji will answer the next question, Yatah Srushdam, wherein we will understand about Karan Srushti and Karya Srushti. And the last 7 shlokas, 36 to 45, is the description of the Virat robe of Lord Krishna. So, this is how this chapter is spanning. And as you will see, most of this we have got the introduction earlier in Canto 1 and few chapters, few shlokas of Canto 3 itself. So, we are dovetailing further into the details now. So, while Naradji has raised the questions, He now wants more clarity. And he's saying that Brahmaji, not because you are my father, but because you are the firstborn living being, you are the right person to answer. So see, look at the questions which he has raised. First question which he had raised was about transcendental knowledge, which can direct one to the truth of Atma as well as Paramatma. What is that transcendental knowledge? Second question was, what are the symptoms of the manifested world? And since he is on the manifested world, the third question came, what is the background? Because background was asked, the fourth question automatically came. How is it created? And if it is created, then it is conserved. So how is it conserved? And if this is happening, then under whose control it is all being done? So there are natural six questions. First was about transcendental knowledge, and second was about the next five was about the manifest world. So, and he further said that because you are the firstborn, you know whatever was created in past, what will be created in future, and whatever is there, everything within the universe. So please tell me. Now, after saying this, he has another doubt now coming in, and he wants to understand what is the source of the knowledge. Not only the source of the knowledge, he also wants to know now under whose protection he is, under whom he is working, what is the real position, and do you alone create all entities by your personal energy? First, he said, I want to know all this, and now he has started questioning. He is having these doubts now. And to clarify that his doubts are really true, he also says that maybe Brahmaji, you are really having self sufficient energy. And so maybe you're creating everything just like a cobweb is being created by the spider. But again, I still need to know what is the characteristics, what are the features, and what if this is not created from any other source other than your leadership. So please try. Now, these are all very intelligent questions. And sometimes it is answers to these questions which actually answer even our day-to-day questions that we face in the current world. Our depressions, our anxieties, our fears, our wins, our losses, our happiness, our sorrow. And that is why this chapter onwards, studying Bhagavatam becomes very, what I'll say, knowledgeful. Because many topics get answered which we can only think about. And as you will see here, all these are advanced knowledge to whatever was introduced in the past. Let us go little back in the history. Now, this discussion between Naraji and Brahmaji, who is reporting it? It is being reported by Shukdev Goswami ji. And why is Shukdev Goswami ji reporting it? Because he was asked certain questions by Parikshit Maharaj. Now, from where has Shukdev Goswami ji got this knowledge of this discussion between Narad ji and Brahma ji? From Vyasdev ji. And who has given this knowledge to Vyasdev ji? Narad ji. And Narad ji himself had this discussion with Brahma, so he was obviously aware of what is being discussed. So this is actual true discussion, true history. And here history, HIS, his stands for Krishna and no one else. So what we see very first here today is through these shlokas, the supremacy and source of creation. So Narad Muni, while honoring Brahma, inquires deeply to understand the source of his power. And so there is a subtle hint that there is maybe someone, some being who is superior to even Brahma. Even today, if we talk, the scientific progress, human intelligence, they are not independent. They are gifts from a higher source. Even most elevated beings such as Brahmaji derive their creative powers from a higher source. The true creation is not autonomous. All knowledge, all abilities, they are bestowed by a higher source, and that is Supreme Personality of Lord Godhead, Sri Krishna. So scientific and intellectual achievements are always discoveries, not inventions of the intrinsic sect. Humans utilize faculties granted by a higher power. So it is important that we understand the supreme
So
authority.
एक बार और जान पूछना चाहिए.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Devotional service, bhakti yoga, it begins with purity, especially by overcoming base desires, such as the sexual attraction, which is an anartha. So only those free from significant sinful reactions through pious living and practice of regulative principles, they are eligible to undertake bhakti yoga. An advancement in bhakti is backed by anartha nivrutti, that is gradual purification from material entanglements. So true spiritual advancement is measured by liberation from material cravings, especially those which are rooted in bodily attachments. And real sannyasa or real renunciation, it is rooted in purity, not just superficial show of saffron clothing. So only a purified soul can deeply meditate on the form of Lord. And that is why Prabhupada repeatedly says that someone should proceed to higher cantos of the Bhagavatam only once it has reached such level. But should absorb the teachings of the first nine cantos, then the 10th canto, so that we have had purification of the mind by focusing meditation gradually on the divine form, beginning from the Lord's feet. Because here, what we also come to know is about proof, self sufficiency, and inner dictation. Naraji compares Brahmaji's creation to the ability of the spider's web. So, this indicates self sufficiency. But then it also comes from divine empowerment. Real self sufficiency, it means total dependence on Paramatma and not on external material means. Like if you go into the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Shloka 5, 6, 7, or maybe the 50th Shloka of the 18th chapter, they all emphasize mind control and surrender to Krishna as key to spiritual advancement. So devotee's strength lies in submission to divine dictation within and without, that is super soul and Shastra and Guru. So self-sufficiency in bhakti differs from material independence. Devotees are free from worldly associations and dependent completely on Krishna. So this is a very classic, something which is very against what the material norms are, self-sufficiency and dependence. So true self-sufficiency is not independence from divine guidance, but complete reliance on the mercy and direction of God within. So this is completely different from the illusion of autonomy. The real freedom is achieved by surrenderance to Krishna and Guru. It is important that we recognize the real spiritual master. Just like Brahmaji is being questioned by Narada upon observing his worship of a superior, recognizing that even the creator is a body. So, a genuine spiritual master is honored as God's representative, not as God Himself. One must have self control to be a guru or disciple, and becoming a Goswami, that is, master of senses, is essential. Transcendental knowledge is revealed only to those with unflinching devotion to both Guru and Krishna. Satisfying, serving Guru is essential method of receiving and assimilating transcendental knowledge. Formality without real spiritual realization, this actually reduces the Guru Shishya relationship to it's just like a cheating transaction. So we must approach Bhagavatam with humility, service, purity, not intellectualism. Spiritual wisdom is transferred through disciplic succession, not through informal exchange or speculation. So, pure authorized teaching preserves the integrity and efficacy of knowledge. So, what is the practical guidance and priorities? Spiritual advancement requires prioritizing obligations towards soul, and that should be above material pursuits. So, regularly hearing divine teachings, proper association. Disciples are encouraged to fully steer conversation towards Krishna, embodying sincere, friendly character while avoiding negative influence. So, the insights or the instructions that we should be taking from the two shlokas that we are doing today are very clear. We must thoroughly assimilate the earlier cantos of Bhagavatam even before and demonstrate practical purification before delving into higher meditations of spiritual texts. The path to genuine realization is dependent on both sincere practice and receiving blessings from a qualified spiritual guide within a legitimate Guru Shishya Parampara. Elevation in spiritual life will naturally lead to decreasing attachments to materialisms, material possessions, false egos. And material knowledge is ascending, it's incomplete, while spiritual knowledge is descending, transmitted through proper lineage and service. So let us take these understandings very strongly and practically implement them in our life, having complete faith on Guru Shastra, and then we can see the changes which will make us suitable enough to have Krishna reveal himself to us. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.